is them to save lives.
Surgery department, we have the internal medicine, and we also have other subspecialties like ophthalmology and so many others. So you have just eight resident doctors manning these hospitals. Some of these doctors too, they are on locum. There is casualization of doctors for years. Not just 1 year, not just 2 years. Do employment? No, there is no employment. When you casualize doctors, that means you are going to condition them on suboptimal salary scale level. It is whatever you have that you give them. So the labor law will not be enacted on them. So we are here to bring this plight to you that we are facing serious casualization of doctors, serious manpower reduction, and unfortunately too, these same doctors are not well motivated. Their salaries are still being held. We have about 28 doctors presently in FCT whose salary were held since 2023. Some 8 months, some 1 year, some 6 months. Pay them, there is nothing. There is no even commitment. FROTF Residency Training Fund, which was also recently paid for the federal hospitals, now in FCTA, there is nothing. There was nothing on the table. And it is out of these grievances that our people, our members went on strike. The president of FCT, Abuja here, is also here with me. I am the national president. I would want to hand over the mic to him, if you permit, so that he can also enumerate some other things that is bedeviling them in FCTA, sir. Thank you.
This opportunity, and thank you, Mr. President. Let me say that we are sad that we've come to the level where in 2025, we'll be having a third strike within 7 months. Third one, we had the first in January, we have the second in March, we're having the third and an indefinite right now. And the reason has been the same. We have an issue with manpower. And I'll give an example of one of the hospitals. Let me use one of our FCTA hospitals, for example, the Nyanya General Hospital. Nyanya General Hospital has about 20 doctors, and they see about 20,000 patients a month, and they have just 40 beds. So if you divide about 20,000 with 20 doctors, you see what that a doctor sees a lot of patients. And we don't have people or doctors that are available to help in such a way that we can give our patients the kind of care that they should have. That is just one of the hospitals. There are some hospitals in our districts, like the Robochi hospitals. In the whole of the community, we have just 2 doctors, the medical director and the medical officer. In a hospital like Abaji District General Hospital, we have just 5 doctors, including the medical director. So if you go even to Kubwa, the same thing. And the population of Abuja is becoming so exploded in such a way that the doctors that are available cannot give the patient the kind of care. And we are beginning, or we are recording preventable death because we are not having enough hands to prevent those people from dying. And this is having some moral burden on us that some of these deaths will have been prevented if we have enough hands. In fact, some of us will have to pay some other doctors to work with us so that we can manage the amount of patients that we see. It has gotten that bad. And then we have issues with our working conditions. If you come to a hospital like Wuse District Hospital, you will see that we don't have like an X-ray machine. Our X-ray machine has not been working for like 3.5 years, and nothing has been done. Even though we keep X-rays, 3.5 years, even though we keep telling them that it is difficult to see our patient without having an X-ray machine functioning. And then you have a situation whereby a patient is rushed, a patient that just had like a road traffic accident, and you can't even do an X-ray for that patient. They have to go outside, sometimes at night, and it's even dangerous for them. Sometimes you can't even run some tests during the evenings. You can't run some tests during the night because there are not enough reagents. There are no consumables. There are no medications. So these have been the issue we've been facing. And every time we write to the management, to the minister, we tell him and every other person, this is our acknowledgement corpus, that we have these issues, please help us solve these problems. But much to our surprise, we never had any response. And now we are having issues of some doctors that have been owed for 8 months, 9 months, 1 year, and they are not being paid. We told them in January, they promised they were going to do something, and nothing has been done. Yes, we have a mandate secretary who has tried our best to make sure that this issue is sorted out. We always have our session with Dr. Adidolapo Fashawe. That's our mandate secretary. And she tries her best. But this is beyond her now. Only the minister can solve this problem. The minister of the FCT can solve this problem. And so these doctors have not been paid till now. We have salary deductions every month, unexplained. Nobody tells you why they are being deducted. You may have 100,000 this month, you may have 55,000 next month, never to be paid back to you. And each time you go to meet them, it's the same story. And nobody tells you, okay, we're going to pay you back. And people are losing that morale to work. In fact, in our hospitals, people leave our hospitals, doctors are leaving, nurses are leaving, pharmacists are leaving the government hospitals to work in private hospitals. And then we're having more of the shortages of manpower. So that's the problem we are facing. And of course, we also have the issue of those that wrote their exams to be consultants up to 5 years. They passed like 5 years ago, some 4 years ago. So they use them as consultants, but they're being paid as medical officers. So there's a disparity there. They've passed like 5 years. They don't have their post-partout conversion letters. They even make them head of departments, but they're paying them like medical officers. So there's this financial gap in the payment. And recently we told them, you can't do this to people that have decided to stay in this country to work. Doctors are leaving this country. There's a Japa syndrome that is happening. And we that have chosen to stay, we feel that the little things that are entitled to us should be given to us. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And of course, we have the issues of promotion exercise that has never occurred since 2023. We have the issues of non-payment of some allowances that have not happened in 2025 and 2024. We even have the issues of the 13-month hazard allowance. Since 2021, we have been begging, writing, pleading, all to no avail. So it came to a point our members thought that since we've kept on reaching out to them and nothing has been done, then we'll not have a choice than to shut down. We gave them 7 days warning letter. They never got back to us. Then we started a 7-day warning strike. They only got back to us once, and we expected that we're going to meet again. We called them 4 times before our Congress on Sunday. They never got back to us until the indefinite strike happened on Monday. We are losing our patients. We know our patients. We know that we cater to the indigent patient. They don't have money to go to private hospitals. They come to us. But it's sad that right now we can't even attend to them. And then we have our doctors who are now abusive to medications, taking antidepressants, self-medication to cope with the stress of the job. We can't continue like this. We saw what happened to one of our colleagues in Port Harcourt. 3 days work, he collapsed. It happened in my hospital too. A pregnant woman, she was a doctor. She was tired. She told them, I'm tired, I can't work. They told her, keep working. Then she went to the call room and she slept and never woke up. 2019. They saw her the next day, she was cold. Her baby in her tummy died. So we can't keep dying because we want to save human lives. And we've told ourselves that until the government, and thank God we're here, sir, get involved in this, the strike will continue. We need to let the people know that we are not giving the best health care to our citizens anymore. In fact, we are practicing quackery. When a doctor is doing 11 section, that is quackery, that's not medicine anymore. When a doctor will do 7 surgeries in a day, that is quackery, that's not medicine anymore. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much, committee members. Thank you for listening to us.
Of some information, which I want this committee and the chairman, this honorable house, to look into. There was this, noise going around the corner, and they were saying that they are going to sack the doctors. That what happened in Port Harcourt some years back, they are going to enact it here. Sir, it is going to be a national disaster. That if any doctor in FCT is sacked, just because they are agitating for their right, we are going to declare a state of emergency from the National Office of NAD, and my own members have directed me that everybody is going to join in a solidarity strike, so that when we now go on strike, we just resume back from a strike. We do not want to go back. I also believe that all of these things we are doing is a tool to bring the government to negotiating table. We are not fighting anyone. They should not politicize all of our agitations and concerns. All that we are doing is for the right person, right people to hear us and hear us out. And I want to appreciate you once again for this very swift response. If you get any commitment from you today, definitely you can be rest assured that we will reconsider, and based on things that will be happening or discussion that will be happening there, we can now bring it to our members and we'll see what to do going forward, sir.
Ginger us to look at this issue very passionately. It is very pitiable that in Nigeria of today, we go into that kind of situation. What they are saying is not actually new. Those of us who walk into those hospitals know. I belong to the health committee tertiary.
Yes.
And we have gone into so many hospitals across the country. What they are saying is what we see every day. And the few doctors that are remaining, this fight is not for them. Last night I read their demands before this gentleman re-echoed it again, or re-echoed them again. I read last night their demands. And what I said to myself last night was that these resident doctors are very selfless. The demand is for Nigeria, it's for our hospitals. It's not for them. These ladies and gentlemen before us can go anywhere in the world and make a better living. But they have decided to help us in our predicament as a nation. I want to thank your patriotism and selflessness. My call, I will not waste time narrating all the problems we face. My call, Mr. Chairman, is to liaise with your colleague from the Health Committee tertiary and call the government side, that is the FCT administration, and sit with them, because we can spend the whole day here talking English. It will not help anything. If you and the chairman health committee tertiary don't come together to call the FCT administration and sit, let's hear their own side, if they have anything to say. And let's come to round table, because our people are dying. The people we represent in this assembly are dying in droves every day because the professionals that are supposed to be health caregivers are on strike. So let's with Dr. Banigo and call the FCT administration and sit with them so that this thing can be resolved as soon as possible. Nobody wants to work in the condition they are working in. Nobody. We go abroad, we see the hospitals. We know what they are doing. We know the equipments they have. The professional here just said that the X-ray machine is the simplest of the machines that we have in the hospitals. As simple as it is, it's not available. So, please, sir, liaise with Dr. Banigo. Call the FCDA administration as soon as possible. Thank God we are even resuming next week from our recess. Let's sort this issue. And as the last speaker said, the resident doctors too should also give their cooperation to the committee or committees so that we can work together and resolve this issue as soon as possible because lives are involved. Thank you, sir.
Chairman, distinguished colleagues, it's very pitiable that currently in 2025, we're talking about not having X-ray machine. That is the simplest, one of the simplest equipment you can see in our hospitals. It's not something to celebrate. If we not think about something like stress ECG machine or PEF machine, there's some let me say echo cardiograph or even stent. There's some equipment that are lacking in our hospitals, but the simplest one you cannot find in FCT. I'm shocked to hear that some of them who were qualified to be consultants 5 years ago are still being paid as a medical officers. It doesn't go well. I'm talking and appealing to our committee to appeal to federal government of Nigeria to see reason. I'm sorry, to see reason to assist our nation. We're not assisting them, we're assisting our nation. Many of my classmates in medical school, they have all gone abroad. They're outside the country. 90%, they refuse to stay here. It doesn't go well. Those ones who have agreed to be here, basic things they are supposed to be their remuneration. Their salary is not peculiar. This thing I'm talking about is not peculiar to FCT. It's not general what is obtainable in even our teaching hospitals. So as a parliament, I want us to wade into the matter strongly without being partisan about it. But at the same time, the resident doctors were also going to appeal to you to see reason, to consider some of shortcomings or paucity of funds, so that if we wade into this matter, mediate as a parliament between the government and you people, so that the strike can be called off, so that you can go back to your work while we continue negotiation, so that those patients who need your attention can get the attention. I rest my case now for Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Presentation. I take on board the comments by my colleagues and fully sympathize and support your quest for better remuneration, etc. But I want to suggest that your presentation may be abridged, but should have contained more statistics to enable us here and the nation at large to understand the depth of the problem. So if 2023 salaries are unpaid, for how many people? What sort of amounts are we talking about? If allowances are being deducted without being explained, what numbers are we talking about? So there are many instances where your presentation could have been emphasized at a different level. But for lack of that statistic, we are not able to understand how bad it is. And I want to suggest that some of this information is available and you could add it to your presentation. Secondly, there have been 2 previous strikes this year. At those instances, you would have made some demands. If some were met, it would have been good to hear that some were met. If none were met and you resumed work, then that also shows us how you were out on strike, called back to work to say, okay, hold on, we'll deal with your issues. If then nothing happened, then that puts us in a different position again. I want to also say that you have listed your issues, but in your presentation, I would have hoped to hear some short-term demands. There are longer-term demands that cannot be fixed immediately. Equipment to be imported, shortage of equipment, policies to stop Jacpa syndrome need to be put in place, etc. But your presentation didn't talk about any immediate solutions that we can examine on your behalf, to present on your behalf, to see how we can get our hospitals working and all of you back to work. Lastly, you have shown us correspondence you've written and the issues that you've raised, but I want to believe that this discussion would have been more effective if the other side was also here to hear the issues and also respond. So I want to suggest, Mr. Chairman, that we hold a similar session as soon as possible with the other side. I think my colleague also suggested that, so as to get their own responses and also what actions we can then come back to you with. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon once again to the concerns already raised by my colleagues. Most of the things they said were in my mind to say. But more importantly, I want to sympathize with you and your colleagues to have found yourself in this condition. Well, like somebody rightly suggested, I think the main thing to do, as it concerns resolving this impasse, is to convene under this committee, or in combination with the other committees, in particular the Committee on Health, Tertiary Institution, to come together, go item by item those issues. I was expecting that before this meeting, your demands and actions already taken would have been circulated to us. That would have given us insight on suggestions to put forward on how best the issues raised could be solved. To my mind, this is a very pertinent issue. Anything that touches on life should be given immediate action. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, dear colleagues, I'm of a strong opinion that we should not just leave this matter. As soon as we finish another step of action that seeks to resolving this matter should be put in motion, so that the intended strike, I don't know whether you are already on strike or you are intending on strike. I think if I were to be one of the people that formulate laws, you should take a note that under no condition should medical doctors go on strike, because you are next to God, like somebody said, in saving lives. However, I'm not condoning the fact that you should be maltreated. I'm coming from educational background, university system, where we had series of strikes based on poor conditions of service. I always feel bad when other sectors come up with their demands, given the sorry conditions, situations they find themselves, because if you are not very close to these people, you may not know what they are passing through. So I put myself in your shoes. Don't say these people don't understand. We do. Our pledge is that we do what we can to alleviate the situation and make things to be in proper shape as far as all these concerns are there. So, Mr. Chairman, I thank you, and I pray that this strike will be called off as soon as possible. Because you can see our mindset that we're not saying, why are you on strike? We understand this, but our own concern now is how to put action in motion to see that all these things are addressed. I feel at the end of this meeting, I should take it back to the body to tell them that yes, we share in their we share their view as far as this strike is concerned. But our plea is that you suspend that and let us get to drawing board. Let us get to the round table and have heart-to-heart discussion. I think that will go to a reasonable extent in solving this impasse. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
For strike, you must have been pushed to the wall. We feel for you and we are with you in your thoughts. But for the lives you have sworn to save, I'm just appealing that you should just give some little time so that the committee and the people concerned about your welfare and the welfare of those that you care for. Because when you do, it's the innocent citizens that are going to suffer and die. And I know no doctor, under any circumstance, wants any patient to die under his knife. But for you to have been pushed to the wall to take this decision, we want you to please temper justice with mercy. Give a little time, give a little room, so that they give us some time, so that we can intercede with the authorities concerned to look at your plight. You are not the kind of people that are supposed to be joked with. So whatever they need to do that will improve your welfare to continue to save lives, they should. So mine is just a plea, Mr. Chairman.
Let me say it here now. I ran about all what my colleagues said. We understand your plight. And let me, on behalf of the Chairman of National Assembly, Distinguished Senator Gosul Akpabio, the President of the Senate, once again congratulate you and thank you for being a patriotic Nigerian, that you people did not follow the other way, which is the Japa syndrome. Thank you very much. And we want to give you one assurance. This issue, like I said, after God, we're in your hands. We are not going to take this matter like very, very serious. It's a serious issue. And let me tell you something. Let me just highlight one or two things. You see, when you meet somebody that is in action, everybody want everything to happen at the same time. I'm not holding brief for the minister. But as far as I'm concerned, in different fora, I said the minister is the symbol of renewed hope of Mr. President. Because there's evidence of performing in some other areas. And FCT budget doesn't come as the same time with the national budget. I think we passed FCT budget sometime like 2 months back. Some of the issue, you know that he met it on ground because he was appointed late 2023. I will tell you this immediately. My colleague, my senior colleague, Her Excellency Senator Banigo called me yesterday I put a call to the minister, and he told me that his body, he arrived this morning. He has been away with his family for a vacation, you know, so he's back this morning. I will take up with this issue today with him. But I want to plead with you. I'm giving you my own commitment now. I want to plead with you now, before my distinguished colleagues. Call of this strike, give us the opportunity to discuss with them. Like me, I'm going to see the minister personally today, by the latest tomorrow. But I believe this night we are going to see. And I believe something will happen, because all the 6 area councils, before he started implementing his agenda for FCT, he have told all town hall meeting was carried out. Demand were made, security, health, school, road, and we are doing that. I'm sure, health, the day that the minister will visit the health, you see changes. In terms of welfare, we don't know whether there are some issue from the national, which is that need legislative assistance. But if there's anything from our own part in the legislative assistance that we need to do or to amend, we are going to assure you we are going to do it. Don't forget, our co-chairman, which is Dr. Banigo, was his deputy governor for 8 years. So all of us will have a very good relationship. We are partners in progress. So we know he will listen to this. Please, we plead with you, continue to save this life. Call off this strike. Give us the opportunity, because now it's us, not them. Leave us with this issue. We talk of the issue. Please, give us that honor for the first time. Call off the strike immediately and see what we were going to do immediately.
Convincing the corporate authority to accede to their issue.
Yeah, we have a robust discussion, and I want to tell Nigerians and FCT residents there is hope in our discussion, and they promise to get back to us positively by the grace of God as soon as possible.
Is there any time frame? Is there any commitment that has to do with time frame? Anything committed?
Like I said, as soon as possible. Yeah, as soon as possible. As soon as, no, that's definite. As soon as possible. You don't believe in miracle?
Okay. The resident doctors, how do you see the engagement with the Senate?
Yes, the engagement with the Senate has been robust. I think it's a fruitful deliberation, and I want to use this opportunity to also appreciate the chairman of this committee and other distinguished senators that flew in from Lagos and from other parts of the country to attend this meeting. It was a notice of less than 24 hours, and we have the full complement of the committee seated. So it's worthy of appreciation, and we appreciate them once again. Just like the chairman has mentioned, soon and very soon, we'll get back to Nigerians on our position.
Thank you.